Hey guys, it's Krystle back at it again with another video. As you guys know, I'm a student at Columbia University and I've been really lucky in that it's been pretty much the perfect match for me. My experience there, barring COVID-19 and online learning, since obviously nobody expected that, has been more or less exactly what I dreamed of. And I think it's because I did so much research before I applied and figured out that Columbia really is the right fit for me. I wouldn't have been happy at Princeton or Harvard, which were some other schools that I considered, or even other schools in New York, like Cornell or NYU, because they just weren't right for me in terms of their programs and their campuses. And that's what really matters, because as much as all these different schools might look pretty similar on paper, their differences, whether they're little or big, really do make a difference. So today, as you can probably tell from the title, I wanted to make a video talking you guys through whether Columbia University is the right fit for you, just like it is for me. Subscribe, like this video, hit that notifications bell so you get notified every time I post, and let's get into it. So for starters, let's get all the Columbia stereotypes out of the way because some of them are truer than others, and that really does affect your Columbia experience. I'd say the big three things that everyone says about Columbia is that it's in NYC, we have the core curriculum, and we don't have any school spirit. Obviously, the first two are just facts, but I'll get into how they affect your experience here. And then for the third one, in my experience, that hasn't been true at all. I think we have a lot of school spirit. Obviously, it's never going to be the same as like a big flagship state school, but I love our school spirit. So first and foremost, Columbia University is, surprise, surprise, located in Manhattan. Specifically, we're located on the Upper West Side in Morningside Heights, which might not mean a lot if you don't live in NYC, but trust me, it makes a big difference than if you're somewhere like NYU, which is in the East Side, which is a lot quirkier and artsier. Morningside Heights is near Washington Heights and Harlem, so we're at the intersection of a lot of really interesting cultural histories and presences in Manhattan. And there are a lot of different things to do around campus. There are some parks that you can go to and restaurants and some bars that you'll see Columbia students frequenting, like 1020 or Mel's, but most people tend to go to the pretty basic restaurants around campus that are right outside the gates, like Starbucks, Shake Shack, Pret. I say basic with love because I'm kind of addicted to Shake Shack and can't really talk. However, if you do want a more diverse experience, the one train is literally right outside the Columbia gates on Broadway, and you can go uptown further or all the way down to Brooklyn, wherever you want to go, and it's super fun. Obviously, living in Manhattan, there isn't a whole lot of room for a huge campus, so our campus is pretty small, but even if you want that kind of green fields, college students, libraries environment, we do have the Columbia bubble, which I absolutely love. Even if you do still hear the sounds of the ever-present Manhattan sirens, obviously it's not going to be that like rollicking fields, idyllic kind of suburban or rural campus experience, but the whole city is your campus, and I love that. Plus, if you want to have access to all the different opportunities and museums and internships that NYC is obviously known for, and you're not afraid to have some street smarts kicked into you, I definitely did, then Columbia is totally a place that you should check out. I will say it's also really important not to romanticize the city. I think a lot of people come to Columbia kind of thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to live my best NYC life, and you should, and people do, but you just don't want to romanticize it to the point where you are trying to live like you're in a movie or something like that. NYC is more than just a pretty backdrop for a movie. It's a real place that's home to real people who live there well before and well after we all come and go in our 4 years, or in my case 3 years since I'm trying to graduate early. And gentrification is a very real issue that's happening in Manhattan. So it's super important as a Columbia student to be ready to give back to our surrounding community of Harlem. I try to do that through, like I was talking about before, my tutoring and academic consulting that I do, and partnering with local schools in the area for underprivileged youth to give them my curriculum for free. So that's just something to keep in mind. You got to put the work in order to earn the privilege of living in NYC. Next up, we have the core curriculum. By the way, let me know in the comments if you guys want me to make a whole video on the core, what it is, and how it works. I would be happy to oblige. And I will say that I'm coming at this from a perspective of someone who is in Columbia College, or CC, which is basically the college that has the most core requirements you have to fulfill, but it also really impacts your experience if you're in CEAS, our engineering school, or Barnard, which has their own stuff that you have to do. But what you need to know is that the core is just as much, if not more, a part of Columbia students' lives in undergrad than the website and the promotional materials make it sound. I honestly love the core because it creates such a communal experience from the moment you step foot on campus. Part of orientation for freshmen is you all go to the first literature humanities class together and you listen to a lecture given by the department head, all 1,000-something incoming freshmen. It's amazing. Literature humanities is the big freshman core class that you take for your full first year at Columbia, both fall and spring semesters, and it's basically a survey of great books. Like an English course, you write a few essays, but mostly you discuss in small groups with professors. So it's a great way to meet professors from all different kinds of humanities departments. Like my Lit Hum teacher, we call it Lit Hum, she was actually, I think, the head of the German department, and she was so lovely and wonderful. And I never would have met her otherwise because I don't study German, and she ended up being a reference for me on an application. And then when you're a freshman, you also take University Writing and Frontiers of Science. So University Writing, we call it U-Writing or UW. That's basically just your standard freshman expository writing class. I think it's a really creative approach that they take to teaching you how to write. It really did help me think differently about writing, so I enjoyed it. Obviously, there's always going to be people who gripe about having to do it because it's a requirement. And then Frontiers of Science is where you learn about the big discoveries that are happening in science in four main areas. So psych, earth science, biodiversity, and physics. Yes, those are the four. And you're put in either U-Writing or FroSci, which is what we call Frontiers of Science. Obviously, we have a nickname for everything. It's fun. Anyway, you're put in one of them in your first semester automatically, and then that's with half of the freshman class, and then you swap with everybody else the next semester. So if you're in U-Writing fall semester, you're going to be in FroSci spring semester, and vice versa. So half the freshman class is always in one class or the other out of those two, and that makes it such a bonding experience because you're put in these small discussion groups, but you're learning the same material as all the other small discussion groups. And I have really great memories of reading each other's essays and U-Writing, or working on problem sets in the hall lounge with people from my section and different sections for Frontiers of Science. It was just a really good time. As you progress through your time at Columbia, things get a little bit less stringent. Like when you're a sophomore, you have to take contemporary civilizations for the full year. That's like an intro level philosophy class. And you have to take art humanities and music humanities by junior year. Those are basically like intro surveys of art and music, as their names make pretty clear. And you can pull them out whenever you're at a fancy cocktail party in your future adult life with your fancy Columbia degree to make small talk. And they're actually really fun beyond that too. But the rest of the classes you have to take are more like distribution requirements where you get to choose. You have to take 2 global core classes, which are classes that focus on a part of the world outside the West. I took this class called Theater Traditions in a Global Context last semester to fulfill part of that requirement, and it was unexpectedly amazing. The professor was a goddess, and I'm so glad I took it, so clearly I'm a big fan of global core. You also have to take 2 science classes. I took psych and statistics for the business concentration that I'm applying for, and they were able to double count for both the science rec and for that requirement, which was awesome. Finally, you have to take the equivalent of 2 years of foreign language, but you can test out of part or all of that with AP tests or placement tests, which is what I did with Spanish. Bottom line, the core does take up a pretty good chunk of the classes you'll take in college if you go to Columbia. So if you just want to focus 100% on your major and not have to worry about taking classes outside of that, like if you're a humanities person and you don't want to take STEM classes, or if you're a STEM person and you don't want to take humanities classes or writing classes, that might not be for you. But if you want to learn more about parts of the world and studies that you never would have been exposed to otherwise, especially outside the West, then I would definitely give Columbia a try. I went to the Stanford University Online High School, which has its own core, so I had a pretty good idea that I was going to like Columbia's core even before I applied and got in, and I'm so happy that I did. Finally, some of these things that I've mentioned, like being in NYC and having your whole freshman class united by the core, do influence other parts of the campus experience. Like, for instance, the stereotype that we have no school spirit, which I think is completely false, but it is true that we don't have tons of parties all the time, and you don't necessarily see a whole bunch of students pulling up to games. Because we are in the middle of Manhattan, you have to take a shuttle to go a little bit outside the city to see things like football games. But even then, my friends and I still go to see the first game of the semester, and we had a ton of fun. Okay, yeah, like the bleachers are kind of empty, but a good time was had by all. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Also, because there are so many different opportunities out in the city to go to different clubs or bars or different places to party if you're 21 plus, there isn't so much of a huge party scene on campus, but there's definitely always still somewhere to go if you're into that, especially on big nights like Halloween. For me, that really works because if I'm not at a party myself, I'm not a huge fan of loud sounds or loud music when I'm trying to study, and I think there's a really good balance. Like, if you want to seek it out, it's there, and then if you don't want to be bothered, like, you don't have to be. Obviously, this all goes for non-coronavirus times when it's safe for people to be in large groups together without masks. I'd say the vibe at Columbia is work hard, play hard, but in a non-toxic version of that. I feel like that can be kind of not great sometimes, and I promise at Columbia it's chill. And what I mean by that is, like, you'll see people at parties who you know are pulling straight A's, like leading 3 different clubs, total overachievers, and then they're having a blast too, and that can feel subtly overwhelming sometimes, like, am I not doing enough? Should I be completely overextending myself in order to have all 3, like social, sleep, and study? But still, the vibe is very much more collaborative than competitive. I think it's even less competitive than when I was in high school. And to this day, I still send essays back and forth with other students. We help each other out. We work on stuff together as far as we're allowed. And I've never felt peer pressured or imposter syndromed or competed with during my time at Columbia. So that's Columbia. I would say that it is, bottom line, way more tight-knit amongst every class than you would ever get if you read on the internet. Obviously, I think Columbia is the best school in the world, but I am biased. So let me know what about Columbia sounds good to you guys. If you think you want to go here, leave a comment about what your dream school would sound like. And please don't forget to vote and subscribe, hit that notifications bell, like this video for more content just like this, especially if you're trying to get into Columbia. Hope to see you here on campus a few years from now, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.